And we're joined by Geert Boss, the man in charge of snow removal for the city of Kelowna, the man in charge of getting a lot of complaints every year, right?
Indeed, indeed.
But we're hearing now that there's been a review. You've had a good hard look at things that went well and things that didn't go so well. And it sounds like some pretty big changes about how you approach the job this year.
Big changes, yes and no. I mean, we continuously kind of like go over how did our efforts pan out each year. And basically it was one of the themes that we've seen consistently over the last 3 years was our performance with sidewalk snow clearing, where we really could do a better job. And over the last 2 to 3 years, we've been looking for ways to kind of like do a better job. And then this year is the year where we're making that change.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we were discussing this before, but your crews are so focused on which road is going to lead to calamity first. And I mean, that's got to be the priority. And then so the sidewalks get pushed aside, so to speak. So you're just giving that to someone else to do.
Yeah, so we basically created a sidewalk, or recreated the sidewalk program, and we're moving that over to the Park Services Department this year. So that for the first time in a long time, we actually have this program fully staffed. Each of the sidewalk zones will have its own assigned piece of equipment. And we have, for the first time in a long time, a team that will take care of all those city-owned sidewalks and the city-exempt, of the bylaw-exempt sidewalks in town.
You were saying this is going to increase employment for people that might have only had a seasonal job.
Yeah, so normally what happens towards the end of the season in parks, we basically have a whole bunch of term employment that ceases. And now this is an opportunity for kind of us to have those folks stick with the corporation throughout the winter by employing them in the sidewalk snow removal program. And as an employer, there's some benefits to retention, because when those folks stay throughout the winter, we don't need to retrain them in the spring, which is always a big endeavor and is quite costly. So having some continuation is beneficial to us as well.
Another change I noted, and without getting too technical, it sounds like you kind of added 2 zones or divided the city into more zones, each with their own dedicated equipment.
That's correct. So we normally had 19 zones for snow removal, but as the city grows and certain areas get denser, we kind of like thought it was time after last year to kind of like redraw those borders and make sure, and all in all, there's about 1,725 lane kilometers of a road that needs to be cleared every year, and we made an effort to kind of like make sure that each of these portions are kind of all similar in size. So we ended up adding 2 sections. And new this year, we went up to 5 contracted units versus 4 over the previous year. So really, also in the roadways, everybody has an assigned vehicle to their zones.
All right. So does that all mean that snow clearing is going to be can you promise, can you give me your promise that snow clearing is going to be better?
I wish I could have that crystal ball and say an unequivocal yes. It's not for lack of trying. We've analyzed a whole bunch of snow events, and we think people will notice a difference. But as with every snow event, it is always about how much snow did we get and what are the circumstances that we get the snow in.
Right. Like things went really bad on the 27th of February?
February 27th, yes.
Was some of that, your fault and your crew's fault, or was that just Mother Nature being cruel?
I'd like to say it was a little bit of everything, but it's okay for us to be self-critical. So that event really warranted root cause analysis, and we took a deep dive into the event and set aside our own feelings on how our performance was. And we really had, in total, there was 7 areas for improvement, 3 what we call the major factors, which really caused our non-conforming response, if you will, and then 4 contributing factors where it said, hey, listen, had we done a little bit better, it wouldn't have been as bad for everybody.
Right. I do get the sense from all of this that you and your employees have gone into this process with real humility, like a willingness to say, hey, can we do better?
And we have to. Like, nobody's perfect. We are always open for improvements, and we always like to take anything under advisement. And it's healthy to take a long and hard look as like, how did we really do?
Right. And when it starts snowing, you are open to compliments as well?
We are open for compliments 24/7, as well as complaints. And it's a good segue. It's like when it starts snowing and people have complaints about snow or performance. While it's snowing, please recognize that we're out there and we're doing the best we can. And the service levels are available on Kelowna.ca. And if you have any irking issues that when the snow has stopped falling, you can actually put in your service request at Kelowna.ca.
Terrific. Thanks for this. Thanks for your availability.
Anytime.
Good luck this winter.
Thank you. We'll need it. And we'll be seeing you around when the snow hits the fan.
For sure. And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.
We don't just report the news, we live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.